The storm arrived the way trouble always did in Port Charles, sudden, dramatic, and determined to make everyone reckon with something they'd been avoiding. By the time the first crack of thunder split the sky, Tracy Quartermain had already decided she wasn't impressed. Storms were loud, messy, and prone to disrupting schedules, and Tracy did not tolerate disruptions. Unfortunately for her, neither did fate. She was halfway through issuing instructions to a very confused caterer at the Quartermain boathouse when the power flickered once, twice, and then surrendered entirely. The lights went out, the caterer fled. Tracy stood alone with the echo of thunder and the unmistakable realization that her phone had no signal. "Perfect," she muttered. "Absolutely perfect." The door creaked open, letting in a blast of wind and rain, and Martin Gray, soaked to the bone and wearing the world's most unapologetic grin. "Well," he said, shaking water from his jacket like a Labrador retriever with a law degree, "if this isn't cozy." Tracy's glare could have powered the building. "What are you doing here?" "Seeking shelter, same as you," Martin replied cheerfully. "Looks like the universe decided we needed quality time." "The universe needs to mind its own business." Another thunderclap punctuated her point. The door slammed shut behind Martin as the wind howled outside, sealing them in. The storm was not subtle about its intentions. They stood there for a moment, two seasoned combatants caught in a stalemate. Tracy crossed her arms, Martin shrugged out of his wet jacket and draped it over a chair with surprising domesticity. "Well," he said, "since we're hunkering down, might as well make ourselves comfortable." "Don't get used to it," Tracy snapped. "This is temporary." "Most good things are," Martin said lightly, though his eyes lingered on her just a beat longer than necessary. The boathouse creaked and groaned as the storm intensified. Rain lashed against the windows like an accusation. Tracy paced, heels clicking sharply against the wooden floor, her agitation growing with every minute of forced proximity. "This is ridiculous. I have places to be, people who need me." "Funny, I was thinking the same thing once. Turns out the world doesn't end if you stop for a minute." She shot him a look. "Spare me the folksy wisdom." He raised his hands in surrender. "Just saying, sometimes being stuck is exactly where you're meant to be." Tracy scoffed, but the sound lacked its usual bite. She paused by the window, watching the storm rage. The glass rattles, and despite herself, she shivered. Without a word, Martin rose and retrieved his jacket, offering it to her. "You're cold." "I am not." "You're shivering." "I'm annoyed." "Annoyance doesn't usually come with goosebumps." She hesitated, pride warring with practicality. Another rumble of thunder decided the matter. With a huff, she took the jacket and wrapped it around herself. "This changes nothing," she warned. "Wouldn't dream of it, though I do appreciate you trusting me enough not to bite." Tracy rolled her eyes but didn't remove the jacket. The warmth, and the faint scent of rain and cedar, was unexpectedly comforting. Minutes stretched into something quieter. The storm outside roared, but inside the air shifted. Tracy stopped pacing. Martin stopped smiling quite so broadly. Conversation, once a battlefield, softened into something resembling détente. "You know," Martin said, "people think you enjoy being difficult." Tracy smirked. "I do enjoy it." "I figured, but I also think you enjoy not being alone more than you let on." She considered denying it. Instead, she surprised them both by sighing. "Enjoyment is overrated. Connection isn't." Their eyes met, and for a moment the years of sparring fell away. No barbs, no strategies, just two people caught in a pause they hadn't planned. The power flickered back on, lights buzzing to life. Tracy straightened immediately, shrugging off the jacket and handing it back. "There," she said briskly, "the storm's breaking. This little interlude is over." Martin took the jacket, but he didn't put it on right away. "Maybe, or maybe it's just the end of the first act." She raised an eyebrow. "Always the dramatist." "Occupational hazard," he replied with a grin. Outside, the rain softened to a steady drizzle.
The storm had done its worst and moved on, leaving the world damp and newly scrubbed. Tracy headed for the door, pausing with her hand on the handle. "For the record," she said without turning around, "this never happened." "Of course not," Martin agreed, "but I'll remember it." She glanced back then, just once. "Don't get sentimental. No promises." As Tracy stepped out into the clearing sky, she felt something unfamiliar settle in her chest. Not discomfort, not annoyance, but the faintest spark of anticipation. Inside the boathouse, Martin watched her go, the echo of thunder replaced by something quieter, steadier. In Port Charles, storms came and went, but sometimes what they left behind was the real story, and Tracy and Martin both knew this was one they weren't quite done telling.